G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Well, look, it's what is it now? It's 6:34 in the morning, Monday morning, and it's a bit overcast this morning. The temperature looks like it's going to be between 19 and 30 degrees C for the day, so with the bit of cloud cover we have this morning, it's going to be quite muggy. You can see I've been up the shed half an hour or so and I'm having a bit of a sweat, so sweat all that grog out, eh? So I'll give me an excuse to pop a bit more back in the Savo. Saturday, it blew its ass off here. In Bundy Bear's shed here, we had 28km/h winds coming in the front door here, and look, some of them were way more than that. The trees out the front, they were just into it. And I had all the doors wedged to try and stop them banging and rattling, but there was no chance of doing any filming. So we, just from the wind and the manuals, I've got workshop manuals and the pages would be blowing, and I thought, oh, that's bullshit. So I didn't do anything like that on Saturday. So around Queensland, or from where Bundaberg is, if you know, for those who know where Bundaberg is, you've got the pointy bit on Australia, come quarter of the way down, third of the way down, you'll see Fraser Island sticking out there. Well, we're about level with the top of Fraser Island. And so from us down to the New South Wales border, and probably down into New South, I wouldn't mind betting, has had some cracker storms. And there's some houses in the general Brisbane area, and they had hail, you know, so big, and it broke through the tile roof, through the ceiling, and wrecked stuff in the house. So they had some cracker storms. We don't need anything like that, that's for sure. But on the news and on Facebook and things like that, there was some wild stuff happening. I subscribe to a Facebook page and a website called Higgins Storm Chasing, and they chase this stuff around a bit, but they're really good with their weather reports. I think it's $34 a year, and you subscribe, and they've got different parts of Australia and where the weather reports are, and they show you, when they do their reports, they show you all these maps, and they're hooked up with Weather Zone and you know, all these big time mobs with all their stuff. So they seem right a lot of the time. So they were warning of these storms, and then typical Facebook, everyone's on there saying, oh, scaremongering, bloody bullshit, and well, holy, didn't it come in for them? But we didn't have that here. West of us here, there was some hail, pea-size hail, nothing major. We got 9mm of drizzle out of it, nothing, no runoff rain, so the dams are still empty. But I suppose our turn will come. Last week of an afternoon there, the storms were banging around the area, so we just got to get lucky and get under one that's hopefully got a fair whack of rain in it to fill the dams up, and yeah, but we don't need all the damaging rain and all that sort of thing. So, but anyway, that's what it is. Eh? We can't change the weather. Whoever works out how to do that'll have more bloody money than Bill Gates, I reckon. Well, who's the bloke that owns Amazon now? Yeah, they'll roll him anyway. So, not to worry. I've been doing, well, when I couldn't do any work in the shed here, well, I could do work, I could tidy up and things, but I've been concentrating a little bit on our caravan, and there's some jobs we'd like to do on our caravan. We bought our caravan new in 2012. It's a February 2012 model, so it's 8 coming up 9 years old now, and little things play up, so I've just been doing a bit of maintenance on that. Judy and myself are planning a few trips away next year, and we've got a good crew in at Queensland Tractor Spares now. Judy and I can shoot off for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. No big stuff, just 2 or 3 weeks here and there, and we'd like to do that maybe 2 or 3 times next year. So we're working on a few trips, and we're looking at, with my Holden, with my Colorado ute, that alloy canopy set up on the back. It's got the spare batteries, you know, the auxiliary batteries in the fridge and all that stuff in it, but we're for when we go on the road, I'd like to film a lot of it and, and do a bit of a travel blog. And for those of you who aren't in Australia or even just down south, can't get up here because of this COVID rubbish, we're going to try and film a fair bit of it. And at the moment, we've got a new device coming to put in the ute, and it's a Wi-Fi. Actually, it's a phone signal booster, and we run with Telstra. Telstra seems to have the better coverage where we go in Australia, at least, and so we're putting this booster in the collie, and they're a great thing. Tony, that owns Bundaberg Home Theatre next to us, he has one in his Amarok, and we were playing with it the other day, having a look, and you can be out in a rural area. You must have some phone signal. So if you can get to 1 bar phone signal or just out of phone signal, with a big aerial on top of the Colorado, and look, by big I mean like a bit over a metre. So I think it's 1.10 metre or something like that. So on the top of the roof of the Colorado, well, it's 1.8 off the ground, or 8 foot off the ground to start with, roughly. Oh no, it'd be 1.8, and so with an aerial sticking up there and a ground plane around the aerial, we should be able to travel a little bit, and with our videos and well, there's a couple of reasons, not just the videos. Videos are part of it, but when you run a business, you need to make sure you got all the pays happening, and you need to be able to hop in to computers when you get to town. Australia's a big place, and there's a lot of places where there's no phone signal, but if you are on a marginal area, well, this will boost it in. So, but because we want the aerials, and we're actually going to put the UHF aerial, our 80 channel UHF radio up on the roof as well. And so we've been looking around, and what we've come up with are these aerial brackets. And so this fella here, obviously it bolts into the roof, and then because it's so high, the aerial will stick up out of here, and then when you need to go under a building or you don't need it, you can pop him down. So while you're travelling, you can have it on, and what it does, you have a big aerial on the roof, and we've been doing tests on it, and I've been YouTubing and Googling tests on these things, and it's not uncommon for 1 bar of phone signal to go into 3 and 4 bars of phone signal. So when you're trying to hop on the internet and do stuff with your laptops, and my little lappy here, it's a good little, strong little lappy, but I have a Samsung phone, a Samsung S10 phone, I think it is, and Judy has I think she's an Apple 10, iPhone 10 or something. But we can set up Wi-Fi hotspots, so we can tootle around and do our business to a point. So we've got to get all this set up yet. The Australian government at the moment has a thing that you can write off, say I buy a new ute, which I am thinking of doing. Buying a new ute, I can write off up to $150,000 profit out of the business and not pay tax. So in Australia, you pay 30% company tax. So any profit the company makes, say we get lucky and we make $30,000 profit for the year. I'd hope it's more than that, but anyway, well, let's say 100,000. You make 100,000 profit. So after you've paid all your expenses, your wages, your rent, the whole thing, you have $100,000 left in the kitty. Well, the government comes along next year and says, I want 30 grand of that. Thank you. They don't do anything for it except be a bit of a pain in your ass. But so with a business that makes a profit, and we do, buying a new vehicle next year is probably a good thing for us. The Colorado would probably be the one we swap out. It's only done 51,000 Ks. It's got heavy suspension for towing and a big intercooler in it, and I've spent a lot of money on it. It's got, bull bar, winch, dual battery system, the whole kit and caboodle, tow bar, all that sort of thing. So it seems a shame to bush it, but we're looking hard at it for this benefit, and we can claim that against the business. And that thing, I can chuck a tractor behind a trailer behind that thing. It doesn't even know it's there because The rear springs, I've got 600 kilo constant load rear springs on it, and 150 constant load on the front, and lifted 2 inches, and look, it just goes like a ripper. But we're just looking at tax things, and I'm just turned 60, and whatever vehicle I buy next will probably be the last toy one I have. I can't see any sense in, if you retire in 5 years' time, spending your retirement income buying a ute. So that's not going to happen. So anyway, looking around, and most of these utes are nearly overloaded, and but if you go and look at a Land Cruiser, which you can get a GVM upgrade on and carry an extra 650 kilos, which can give you a gross combined mass of 7,800 kilos, I believe. That's if what I've been reading's correct. Well, that way we can tow our caravan, we can tow our tractors, we're not overloaded in any way, but you've got to find $80,000, $90,000 to buy one. So that's what we're thinking about at the moment. Whether we, there won't be a decision made on that till February, March next year, but it's a lot of money for a vehicle. You look at the Dodge Rams and things like that. The Dodge Rams in Australia, they range from 70,000 base model, that's Australian dollars, up to 150. You can spend as much as you'd like on one of those, but I would like a single cab ute, not a dual cab, and I'd like to keep my toolbox set up, the front box with the fridge and the dual batteries and that, then the back box that, I've got videos on when I wired it all up, the back box I can take off and use my ute as a ute again. So we're looking at that. Any bright suggestions? I look over in America and all the utes you fellas have over there, oh, I bloody drool over them. But I see the other day, like there was an old Chevy, I think it was a Chevy. Yeah, I think it was a Chevy. It was 18 years old and they still wanted something like 38,000 for it in Australia. So the prices are just rubbish. Prices of Land Cruisers are rubbish too, but anyway, we'll see. But you can buy a little Jap ute, say you buy a Isuzu or something like that. You pay $60,000 for one of them here, 50 to 60, by the time you get a little bit of stuff done to it. And when you go to trade it in, you'll never get any more than 20. You go and buy a Cruiser, you pay 80, 90,000. But at the moment, I've had a look around for second-hand ones. I'm not allowed to buy a second-hand one. It's got to be new with the tax thing. But things that are 6 and 8, 10 years old with 130, 150,000 Ks are still pulling $65,000. So you don't lose as much. And when you decide to bail out of it in 10 years' time or 5 years' time, well, you'd still have enough to go and buy a little Jap comfort ute once your travels are done. So anyway, that's enough rambling about bloody vehicles. I don't even know if I'll do it. I'm just looking hard at the moment. So we'll see. Decision won't be made till next year. With the shed doing some videoing, I've been getting a bit behind with that stuff, but just bloody busy. And we've been trying to do the caravan. I come home from work and try and do the caravan a bit, and we've had 2 taps in the way of the. There's been no drain sink, plate drain for the dishes, so we've actually shifted taps around, and I've machined up a little plug so we can, the old push-pull plunger one's gone. I put a new anode, I don't know which is which, the bit in the hot water system, and so we're doing a bit of replumbing and buggering around and putting grey water tanks on, and so there's been a little bit of work going into the caravan. I haven't really been filming that. Let us know if you want to see it. I don't know if it's of interest to anyone. It's just making it a little bit better for when we get going next year. We're just tidying up a few things that need doing, and a lot of caravans, we paid, back 8 years ago, we paid $46,000 for that, and a lot of the plastic stuff's going brittle, so I'm replacing some of that stuff. So look, nothing major. And it's still a good thing for us. But yeah, I've been doing a little bit of that. Machined up a little plug out of brass. I probably could have filmed, but I didn't even think about filming it till later. I was just in a hurry getting stuff done. The John Deere tractor, the 2030, I just filmed yesterday lifting the hydraulic cover off, and that's, yep, you can just see that there. I lifted it off. I filmed how to lift it off. That'll be one video. The second video I did yesterday was pulling the lift cylinder out and just what to do. And they'll only be little short videos, but so people can just watch that thing and go and do it. And today, hopefully, over on the bench there, I'll strip the cylinder and show how it works. That's the main thing. The selective control valve on the 2030 here, it's the old poppet rack and pinion style one, not the poppet style one. And look, I've never used it. I've got nothing to do with it, but just for the sake of a video, we're going to pull it apart and go through it and make sure it's smick, make sure it works properly and all that sort of thing. This morning up in the shed, I'm going to sit the cameras down on the back of the gearbox, and if you recall, part of the reason we started pulling the 2030 down was because it jumped out of reverse gear. So part of doing that and the high-low and that was, well, that's why I lifted the top off here, the lift cover, and that gives me access in the box. So this morning I'm going to get down there and we're going to work out why it was jumping out of reverse gear. I think I can see, but I can't prove it to myself in my mind yet. So we'll have a look at that. I've got the bundybearsshed.com website registered, the domain name registered now. We haven't put a .com.au on the end of it. When we went through Amazon to register the name, I never knew there were so many. There was .net, .com, .com.au, the whole lot, and the .com was cheaper than the .com.au. Frank at Bundy Trophies and Gifts, he's having printer trouble with our merchandise, so we're not even going there until we're right to go. He mucks around. They've had printers blow up and heads blow up, and it's wearing thin. I was going to try and get stuff out for the Christmas market, so we'll have to jump on that soon if I can. But look, if we miss that, that's neither here nor there. It was just a bit of merchandise, a shirt, a hat, a stubby cooler, a few bits and pieces, and we might even pop the Queensland Tractor Spares stuff. Like, I've got a Queensland Tractor Spares hat here. We don't have any anymore, we just haven't got any done. This is an old one that I've had in the ute, and so we're going to get a bit of that stuff done for those who want to support the channel a little bit. I have been thinking of a Patreon thing where you can sort of help out in the background with parts and things like that. I don't know whether that's a good idea or not. I suppose it's one of those things I can put it out there, and if people want to jump in and have a help with it, they can. And what I was thinking of doing with that is having an email address, and the Patreons would get a bit more help, with a bit of extra help with some of their jobs. They could email me more problems. And last week I had 90-something emails. And so I don't know how that works with people with problems. And look, I help where I can, and but I was thinking of a Patreon thing where $5 a month or something like that, and that gives you a direct link or something like that. I'm getting my chain rattled about not giving out my phone number. I don't want to give my phone number out. bundybearsshed@gmail.com is the best place to get onto me, and I'll try and deal with stuff there. So it's sort of growing a little bit, and it's one of those stages. Do you take it to the next bit, or you just poke along, or what do you do? So who knows? I'm not really in it for the money. If I was in it for the money, I probably would have packed her in long ago. Yeah, but look, I do enjoy. I like playing with tractors. I like helping people. I like filming and sharing knowledge and things like that. So we'll see how all that goes. So this week there's going to be a bit of time into the Johnny. I poured some vinegar down the bore of the Ford 4600 over there the other week, and I've let it soak and I've let it soak. Then yesterday I was over the front there with a big spanner and on the front of the block there, and it's not moving anytime soon. So anyway, I'd say I'll pop the engine out. I'm not 100% sure. Like the vinegar, when I put the vinegar down the bore, well, it's frothed up and it's, she's gone mad, eating rust away, but those pistons aren't moving, so I haven't given them a bash or anything. I thought perhaps I might, when I finish with the engine stand here, I might just use the new Sparex stand. Sparex asked me, can I do a video on that new stand? So that'll be a good thing to split the engine out. I won't be able to put anything together straight away, but we can run through it. So we'll look at that. I said to Jude this week, I've got that much going on in the shed, I don't think I'll go to work for a few days. So she said, "Oh, yeah, the boss, do what you like." And so, which doesn't happen often, yeah. So all you blokes know about that. And so, yeah, I've got to have 2 or 3 extra days this week, and I'll try and get a bit done on the Sparex Fergie and a bit on there. I'll try and share my time around a little bit but I'll work on the John Deere till I run out of parts, and I'll go as far as I can on that. And there's other little jobs like the brake master cylinder. Well, it's just there, 2 bolts, and I can have it off and do it for you. The brakes work, but you know, we're there. So we're doing stuff we don't need to do, but look, it's a bit of fun. People enjoy the videos, so we'll look at that too. So, Kelly Dog, my old mate Kelly Dog, she seems to be firing pretty well. Yeah, her health's a lot better. She seems to be, well, she's asleep in my big chair here at the moment, and but yeah, I did on Saturday with the wind and that, I couldn't do much up here, and I got on the mower. Jude wanted some pruning done up in the front garden there, so I got the chainsaw going and did some pruning for her and took Goldie up to, Goldie was my horse. So we took Goldie up and did some pruning for Jude and did some rider mowing and tidied the place up a bit, and did the motorbike tracks for the grandkids and all that sort of thing. And so the Kelly Dog doing that, or whatever I'm doing that sort of thing, Kelly Dog just follows me up and down and up and down and up and down. And anyway, that night and yesterday she was a bit sore. You know, she's hopping off the chair thinking, oh, you can, yeah, it feels like me. You know, when I hop out of bed, I think, oh, crikey, how can you be so rested up and hop up and everything goes click, pop, bang before you get going for the day. So, yeah, our Kelly Dog is a bit stiff around the edges, and yeah, mainly her back legs, and but I've been giving her the food with the anti-inflammatory thing. I don't know, the anti-inflammatory, I'm going a couple of days now without it, just to see what the difference is, and if there is a difference. I haven't been noticing much of a difference in the last little couple of days we've given it to her, so we'll see how that goes. Pardon me. Yeah, filming yesterday, I had all my sound equipment here buggering around, and I got this, that's my new little GoPro, of pulling the lift cover off. I had a camera in each side, so it'll be interesting to see how that edits up. I'm learning with the GoPro, like with the Lumix camera in front of me here that we're doing the stew on, I can zoom in and out, and I can set it to do a few different things. Not many, because well, it does a lot more than I know how to do with it anyway. But the little GoPro there, it's either on or off, and away you go. So I'm still learning. It's got a wide angle lens, so I'm still learning. Yeah, what it does. It's no focusy sort of thing on it, or yeah, there's very little adjustment on it. It's a Hero 9, so we're just learning about all that. But yeah, look, we've got spare batteries here for it, and well, we got spare camera batteries of all shapes and sizes, and battery packs for the sound system here, the Tascam, I think it's the Tascam D700, something like that. So, but anyway, look, I might just crank the camera up and take it for a walk down to the dams and show you that. I meant to do that last week just to show you how empty they were, but the one that we pump out of for the toilets, we're going to have to stop pumping again. It's just too dry, but the paddock's looking nice and green. Well, greenish, you know, the little bit of rain we had is enough to green things up, and we'll just, hopefully we get a little bit more. Something's happening with this humidity around at the moment today. That tells me that something's going to give, perhaps an afternoon storm or something like that. So look, I'll thanks for dropping by again. There's it's only a chat, this one, but this week there's going to be a few videos drop. We're going to put quite a bit of effort in this week into filming, so over the next couple of weeks there'll be different bits and pieces, and the John Deere 2030 is going to be my priority, and this Sparex TE20, I've got stuff I can do, like I've got new kingpins there for it and wheel bearings, and I probably should do a steering box video. I've never done one. And then with the trekking tractor over here, I've got the new auxiliary pump for that. I can get all the hydraulic pump in and all that, but how much I film and how much I don't know, we'll make our mind up as we go. Sparex gave me some rim centres the other day. I bought the rims, I bought the 12 by 28 inch rear rims. Well, Sparex gave them to me. And the other day I got the centres for those. So I really should paint them red in the middle, but I'm having a bit of trouble getting keen on painting. And I'd rather do mechanicing at the moment, so we'll just see how we go. So look, once again, thanks for dropping by. I'll take you for a little walk just to show you around the place a little bit, and we'll catch you next week. Keep tuned for a few video drops this week, particularly John Deere stuff early, and if I get time on these other days off, I'm going to sneak off. We'll get a little bit of Fergie stuff happening too. So thanks for dropping by. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, and yeah, we'll catch you next week. Well, I've just come back from Super Cheap Auto, and I've bought this kit. Now, it's a dent pulling kit, but I'm not going to use it as a dent puller. I'm looking for the porta power. So this little porta power unit there, I've got a few jobs I'd like to do with that, and the rams and the little spreaded jaws and all that sort of thing. I haven't really got much to do with them, but look, we'll tuck it away. You never have too many tools. And now I have to make a fitting from this fitting here, and that looks to be quarter BSP. It may be NPT, I won't know until I get that end off. Then when I come across to my little mess here, this is where I'm doing all the, this is where I have all the camera stuff and do a bit of editing in the shed when I'm not in my office. And I've just been to town and I've bought this little 8th BSP T, and this thermal and surge relief valve off the John Deere 2030 lift cover. I want to test that, and I don't know, I've been going to do this for ages and I just haven't got round to it. So while this job's on the go, I've got 8th gas here, 8th BSP, 8th BSP there, and 8th BSP here. This is NPT, so just for the test we're going to run an NPT tap, an 8th NPT tap down there, and so that gives us an option of oil in the test piece and a gauge out the other side to see what we've done there. So there you go, that's just yeah, a little bit of a tag onto the stew. I've got the lift cover stripped and the cylinder, the main lift control cylinder, out of the tractor now, and I stripped it yesterday. So I've been to town to buy some parts, so I'm back home for the morning. I'll see if I can make this little part and video putting it all together again. That's over at the Ford 4600, and you can see how the vinegar, it's bubbled up, it's done all sorts of things. It's dried out just a little now, and but yeah, it certainly ate in and ate the rust and that. I'll try and clean that out a little bit, but yeah, no way I can turn that engine over yet. So I'd say we'll just pop it out on the stand, and once I undo the con rods, well, I can really get into the top of that bore there and see if we can punch them out through the top and see. Yeah, long-term job. I've got a fair few parts here waiting for that, but a long-term job, that one. But yeah, some of those things you just keep putting along in the background, but this old girl, she's going to fight us all the way, I think. Well, there's a bit of a look at from the shed looking up at the house. You can see we're still a little bit dry over this side of the paddock here, but if you have a look in general, the paddock is greening up, so that's a good thing. When we go up to the house up here, I'll try and keep you steady, but anyway, might happen, might not. Up under the windmill there, I don't know If we can see it, I'll zoom in and just see what we got up there. But right up in there, oh, I can't see him. Judy came home with some Muscovy ducks yesterday. She'd been on about them for ages, and I said, just go and buy the bloody thing if you want some. But they're a bit hard to find, so we'll go and have a look at that too. Well, this is our main dam that we pump out of. Yeah, it's very low. We probably won't get many more pumps out of that. Well, may not even get a pump out of it. But you can see where the pump is up on the dam there, then it's got to come way down here. So we certainly need some rain. And when we swing around, God, there's a good looking dog, that one. Hey, Kelly. Hey, you're a bloody good looking dog. Gosh, he says you're full of shit, Dad. And there's your dam. This is the one we cleaned out last year. It's got a little more in it, but yeah, it's still not usable for us yet. But anyway, that's how it goes, eh? We're in the wet season. The wet season's starting. Cyclone season in Australia starts in November. And I think they said goes through to April on the news yesterday. So, yeah, we'll just see. When we have a look down there, that's Judy's new ducks. So we've got a little bantam rooster pen there. They get out for a run later. We have 3 brand new ducks. They're in freeze frame. They're thinking, what's this prick doing? Then Judy's got another chook pen over here. And this little mango tree there, well, Arrow loves climbing that, little grandson. He's up that. Whenever he goes missing, he's out here. He's sitting up the tree watching the chooks. So yeah, the ducks are doing good. I thought I'd better come and have a bit of a check while I'm out and about, just to make sure they're yeah, they're settling in okay. Judy went and bought a little swimming pool for them. Look, they got a little slippery dip and everything. Get looked after better than me, I reckon. Bit like old McDonald's farm, isn't it? And way up the back there's Bundy Bear's shed, so I can make as much noise as I like and it won't matter. This is on the side of the caravan. This is the hot water system, and down the bottom there in this blung here there's an anode, one of these fellas, and that's supposed to be magnesium. And the idea of the anode is that it eats that away and doesn't damage the tank at all. And I hadn't checked this for ages, so I thought I'd pop it out and have a look. And there's the one I pulled out, and you can see on the ground where I flushed the tank out just to try and get all the bits of magnesium out. So I wonder if you drink caravan water you get lots of magnesium, so you never get cramps. Who knows? But that's just part of the maintenance for the caravan. It's a suburban, I believe, a suburban hot water system, so runs on gas and mains electrics. And look, it's a great thing to have in a caravan. But yeah, I was just surprised that it had eaten away so much. And yeah, well, you can buy these from anywhere from $12 to $20 depending on what you're looking for. But yeah, so that's this afternoon's job. We'll just pop that in there, and when we finish buggering round up the shed, well, we'll be up here buggering round up here. Okay, on the way past we'll just check the battery charger on the forklift. That is a great charger, C-Tech, the smart chargers. You can see there's a green light there, so it's full. So it needs a bit of a bath under here, but what happened was grandson Arrow, he loves hopping on the forklift and buggering around. Oh, we go for drives and everything on it, and he's often hops up there like kids do, steering and that, but he'd left the lights on and I didn't notice. And I haven't used the forklift for about 2 weeks, so I jumped on it yesterday. I got a bit of tidying up to do the mowing around the house and around the place. I've got a few pallets of stuff that I shift around each mowing, and I hadn't noticed, so the battery was flat, and I went to start it and she's flat, so that's been on 24 hours now, so it looks like it's come up real good. So she's all charged up. But those CTEC smart chargers, boy, they're a good thing. I often cart one with me. Just they're light to carry in the vehicle, and if you're camping or travelling somewhere and you've got a powered site, you can chuck that on the vehicle on your caravan, get everything right up to top line if you ever need to. So there you go.